All right, y'all, we back. Episode 12, Challenging Limiting Beliefs. And I'm going to work off the screen because my glasses is broken. Not only that, I broke two pairs. If you know anything about nerds, if you know anything about, we're going to tape it. But I ain't going to do that. I'm going to work from the screen so I can see. And plus, I can't see up close. I wear these. Anyway, it's irrelevant. But let's get into that. One of the key steps of challenging limiting beliefs is to identify and recognize them. These beliefs are often rooted in past experiences, conditioning, or societal influences. They can manifest as thoughts such as, I'm not good enough. I don't deserve happiness. I'll never succeed. By becoming aware of these beliefs, we can start to question their validity and explore alternative perspectives. And today is about change. And today I'm going to talk about my struggles with life identity and things growing up. And really, I'm going to get into some timelines and some things that I drew, how I was feeling at that time, and why I had limiting beliefs. First, we're going to start off with this. I drew this picture in 2005. And as you can see, there's two sides, good and evil. And I have something going right up the middle. And this was just before I was trying to figure out how I was going to change my life because I was so drowned in alcohol, confused, backwards, still entertaining. Perhaps maybe I could be a rap artist and that it doesn't matter about your age and all that. It doesn't matter about your age, but it does matter about the system, what's set up, if they're going to allow you in, what's your purpose. Are they going to use your entry in light? Because I've been around a lot of famous rappers coming up in the 80s in the Bay Area. I'm not name dropping. I'm just telling you, been around the scene. And I started to understand that nothing really was going to happen. I just realized that. I was like, and that never stopped me from working. I wasn't like, I'm just going to quit this and pursue this. Like I give you a story. In 91, I was a manager at Taco Bell. Manager at Taco Bell in Fremont. At this time, Stan, MC Hammer, they was doing their thing. And he had bought a house up there. I believe it's like $14 million. Not too far from where I was staying at these apartments. And so I got to meet a few of them. A couple of them stayed in my apartment complexes, bodyguard, stuff like that. So I started to meet some. And they started to talk to me. And it was like, yeah, man, you kind of tight. Do you write, though? Why don't you write something? Man, because he this, and that. And I was thinking to myself, I said, nah. I'm an artist. I'm a creative. No, I got some heat. I got some stuff. And all they kept talking about was me writing. And I was like, well, I ain't willing to give away my intellectual property and not all of that. Oh, well, let's hear you. No, you're not going to hear me. You already heard me. And so the game to me that I was like, oh, this is rigged. This is fixed. There's really no end or a come up or actually making some music and putting down some stuff. It doesn't seem possible. And I was right in the middle of it. So not only did they have it on lock, they chose to use whoever they wanted to use to push certain agendas. And so at that time, 2004, 2005, I was like, well, I got to make some changes. And so I drew this picture. And it is a picture. I'll show you. It's one of my favorites down here. And we'll just go through it real quick. On the ethics side. And the ethics side of Timothy 2:30. No, 2:20. Excuse me. But evil men and impostors will grow worse and worse, deceiving and being deceived. And because I had some limiting beliefs about myself, I was constantly trying to find somebody to help me instead of me helping myself. What is the process to this hip hop or rap industry? How do I get in it? What's required? Because obviously skills, talent, and positive stuff, they don't want that. And so they tried to convert some of us that were conscious rappers, positive stuff, says positive stuff, and then try to turn us, twist us around, and told me, he said, hey, why don't you write some of this? What, some fake stuff? About what? Robbing and shooting and all of that stuff? So the next couple of weeks I come out and shit, I got somebody firing at me, things like that. I brought it upon myself, you know. And I don't mean to get into this, get off base of the curriculum, but this is very, very, very important. Because not only was I confused about the individuals that were doing it, I couldn't really figure out like what was the there's really ain't no, we need some new music. We need some new heat. You guys can't possibly think you're going to hold it down, because now look at it now. And you went so far left, I don't know if you're going to be able to come back. So like I was telling you, once I identified my limiting beliefs, I started to examine the evidence that supports or refutes it. Many times we hold these beliefs without any substantial proof, basing them solely on our fears, insecurities. By seeking evidence to challenge these beliefs, we can begin to dismantle their hold on our self-worth. The process involves questioning the origin of these beliefs, challenging their logic, and looking for contrary evidence that supports our worthiness, which means your value. What is your value? And back then, you could see that I was struggling with the two sides. But the interesting thing about it, even though I drank alcohol, and the minute I drank alcohol, I immediately went over to this side. The minute I drank alcohol, I immediately went over here. Is it self-inflicted? Yes. Immediately went over there, and I started to realize that. And that is one of the catalysts for me to stop drinking, because I had to see if it was me or it was the spirits. Because sometimes when you're battling in your mind, you're trying to figure it out. You're trying to figure out, hey, what's going on? Some people call it mental stability. Some people call it some kind of illness. Some people call it, hey, you just need a job. That's everybody's, hey, you just need a job. And so I was really trying to figure out at that time, man, hey, what am I going to do with my life? Because you spent a lot of time, you got to remember the raps, that came out in the 80s. Right? I was right there, first came out, had all the posters on my wall. My parents was like, man, what's going on? I got the cassette tape. I playing instrumentals, we rapping on beats, and my parents is out of their mind. completely. And I was just engrossed in the culture. And when I drank, when I was over here, these people over here talking about, oh, you don't have no choice. Well, I didn't know drinking alcohol was going to put me over there, and then it was going to have me not have no choice. But I never believed that. I never believed that because in 2003, I drew this. You do have a choice. And here is the boy, the basketball, right? I'm going to just show you. The boy with the basketball, and I do have a choice. And you always have a choice. You're presented with a choice just like this picture. You're presented with a choice. And now in 2024, which is the year of truth, and you have to make a decision, what's your choice? Because I've always stayed on a positive tip, stayed writing positive stuff. For instance, we was talking about hip hop. I drew this probably 15 years ago. Bring hip hop back. Hip hop. Not Zesty Pop. Not blackball all the other good rappers pop. But bring hip hop back. You know, it's a genre recreated. It always gets hijacked. People take it. Oh, they don't want it and all that stuff. It's like, no, a lot of us that have skills that can put down some stuff for you to listen to it, be banging. It might not be shoot 'em up, bang, bang, but it's going to get you moving. You're going to be grooving. You're going to be smiling. You're going to have your energy up. You ain't going to be thinking about running out, robbing, killing, doing all kind of weird stuff. Popping pills, doing things like that. That's what happens over here. That's exactly what happens over here. I know because every time I drank, I went over there. And then I tried like hell to get out of there. And let me tell you, it's hard to get out of there. For me, 2022, out of there. And I'm just talking about the location I was in. This stuff is prevalent, goes on. I want you to be a part of it. Put you in the mix, use your energy, your light. Try to have you all confused. You making all the money, but you don't have no money. You just like, damn, what's really going on? So you got to identify that stuff. And then when you're talking about good and evil or religion and stuff like that, the foundational base, hey, I got to find out. So I did some research, started reading, started to understand that you can't drink and you can't be over here. It's detrimental. It's just detrimental for you. And it just does absolutely nothing for me. Now, other people, yes. But for me, no. And so I started valuing myself. I started really, really looking into myself, my self-worth, all of that stuff. And I was proud of myself of how I came through a lot of stuff and was able to keep my sound mind and understand that, hey, that's a life's process. This stuff happens, but you don't have to keep this self-inflicted stuff. Stop drinking. And so I did 19 years ago. And that's why I can sit here and explain this to you. And I know people, this channel, they say, what is it? I'm going to explain it again. Peer-to-peer is an extension of mental health. It's the cool version. It's the non-judgmental version. It's the version where you try to find solutions and stuff before you get in front of somebody that's trying to hand you something, hand you a little thing to take. That's what this is. We deal with life stuff. I'm going to get into some cooking. I'm going to get into, I know I keep saying that. You know, I posted my thing about procrastination. I do a lot of stuff, but I still feel that I could do more. And so once I got my confidence up and I was like, hey, you know, I drew this. And like I told you, I'm an artist. I know they got AI tools. I use them. It's fantastic. Trust me. But certain artists and people like that, you know, they have an advantage with it because they actually draw. They can fix stuff. Because if you mess with AI, you know that they just give you a lot of nonsense all the time. So I drew this and it said, you are more than your past, your financial situation, your job, your personality, your triumphs, your failures. You're a child of God. And I drew this. And you got to realize that this is probably something in my DNA. This is probably something that followed me because I was not really invested in it like that, but I drew these things. Things came through me. I drew these things throughout my whole life. Even though I was in a cesspool of nonsense, I continued to create positive stuff. And I just wanted to share that with you. And over these episodes, especially finding your light, finding your inner light, your path to self-worth, this segment of episodes, we're going to get into that. And I'll give you another one real quick. Okay. This is another one I drew. Personality. And this one is character is what you know you are, not what others think you have. And remember that. Remember to always value yourself. Regardless of what's going on, always value yourself. And on this side, when I drew this, with my hair long, I had vision. My hair wasn't long when I drew this. But it's all about having vision and keeping that inspiration, keeping that energy and stuff towards that specific goal. Let me get over here really quick and conclude with self-acceptance. Self-acceptance. Oh, you'll be accepted on that side, definitely. Comes with conditions and a lot of nonsense and a lot of confusion, and you might slide out of there okay. Foundational stuff, listening to your inner voice, being alert, understand that there is good in the world and that you don't have to subscribe to this. Because this, I know personally, will take you off a cliff. Allegedly. So, we're going to conclude today with that. I know it was a little confusing. I went all over the place like that, but I just think it's important to not only be transparent, but to kind of take you through my journey and how I got here to this point in front of you. And I will say this, don't be afraid of success. Success should be afraid of you. Because if you have the talent, the energy, the time, and the know-how to do better, to be better, then do it. Because we all know how this ends up every time. We know. So I thank you guys for hanging out with me this morning. Episode 12, Challenging Limiting Beliefs. It's no slight, no matter what you believe in, you believe in it. Be serious about it, understand it, research it, and really see if it applies to you. So I appreciate y'all hanging out. Appreciate my subscribers. Appreciate y'all. Until next time.